You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
That's the wine and diner with kings and queens.
You're looking at the man. You're listening to The Drew Yari Show.
Hey, what's going on, guys? It is Thursday, February the 20th. It is past 6 already because me and Ruben were talking for a bit. It's 6:08 p.m. Central Time here in San Antonio. Nice and cold and breezy here, a little wet. Welcome to the Drew Yari Show. I'm your host, Drew Yari. Returning to the show for a third time is the host of the Ruben Prime TV podcast, Ruben Prime. Ruben, say hello to the people.
Hello. It's first time being on Discord. I had Discord for ages, and this is the first time actually using it. So, yeah, 3 times, a three-peat going on here. I'm glad to be here live with the lovely folks of the Drew Yari Show audience. What's happening?
What is definitely happening indeed, people? I guess, go ahead.
I said, oh man, it's been a crazy year, and it's only February. Oh man.
Yeah, it feels like it's been 6 months, but it's only been 2 months into this new year.
Yes.
Like January was just so freaking long, and February seems like it's taking longer. And before you know it, we're already going to be in summer. Like, that's how crazy it is.
Yeah, it's been a crazy 2 months, and as they say, as time goes on, more events happen in a month. Because before it would be like, a lot of things happen in 6 months. Now a lot of things happen in 3 months, and 2 months, and 1 month. It's just crazy times we're living in.
Well, you know what happened recently this month, Ruben. NXT Takeover Portland.
Oh yeah.
Were you able to watch NXT Takeover?
I saw. I'm still catching up on wrestling. I finally was able to watch NXT and AEW. Haven't finished the rest of the Royal Rumble, but I'm catching up to that. But I seen the important stuff from Takeover, and it was a pretty good show. And it's weird on a Sunday because, usually the Takeover show's on a Saturday.
I guess that's what they're kind of going for now, which, they want to, WWE wants to pretty much own Sunday.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess that's good. NXT gets to do their own pay-per-views on a Sunday instead of a Saturday. But we'll review Takeover right now for a bit. It was in Portland, which I think that's. I'm not saying maybe this isn't the first time, but I think it's one of the first times I remember watching a wrestling show in Portland.
Yeah,
which is, and Portland was like, they were pretty much on fire for that night. Like, they really do love their wrestling.
For sure.
Let's talk about the first match: Keith Lee versus Diamond Dijakovic for the North American title. But before we get into the match, do you think this was not a good idea to have this match go on first?
To me, the match, overall, the match placement wasn't bad. Because I rather would have had this match go first than the women's street fight with Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox. Because you needed that first match to get people hot, and that Lee and Dodger will always deliver. And we've seen it before, but they was able to make it different.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't know, this match, you ask anyone else, they'll tell you, across the board from what I saw, this was their favorite match of the night. And not to say that every other match was bad, but it just seemed like this was too good of a match to have on first. I mean, personally, maybe this should have gone on maybe second or third, because literally the next match after that, it just seemed like the crowd was dry. Granted, the two people in the ring were kind of were very green, but we'll get into that. But this match overall, I loved it. I had to rewatch NXT Takeover, because when I watched it the first time, I was at my desk at work, so I wasn't really able to enjoy it that much. So I had to rewatch it, and this match, these two just have crazy chemistry. And
dude, it is. I'm sorry. It is amazing what these two guys can do at their size. And I'm all for not having everyone wrestle the same way. Cruiserweights, mid-sized guys, heavyweights, but it's just something about these two that when they come together, when they have wrestling matches like that, I was like, wow, like this. Imagine this being a feud around the Ruthless Aggression era. I can't say Attitude Era because people will just beat it to death. And I love the Attitude Era, but there's certain things, like none is perfect. But just imagine this even a few years ago, and not even a decade ago or 20 years ago. Imagine just a few years ago, and just how just the amazing chemistry that they have, and they're gonna wrestle again, which is like, we've seen it before, but something has to happen with this with this feud, because I don't know. Hello?
Oh, I'm here. I'm just listening.
Okay. Yeah, it's just crazy how these two competitors, they just, I don't know, man. It was something special, but I rather would have had this match go on first than the next match, because the next match was, they tried, but at the same time, you don't get first place for trying.
we'll get into that, but like, yeah, these two have good chemistry. It just seems like every match they just try to top themselves. One thing I've noticed about this match, it looked very heavily like they were going to go with Dijakovic, because he was just out there pretty much just killing himself, trying to pin Keith Lee. Not to say that Keith Lee didn't get any offense in, but you can tell from a lot of the spots that it looked like, okay, is Dijakovic going to win this? And is Keith Lee going to move on to the world title picture? There was that one spot where Keith Lee was sitting on the chair outside, and Dijakovic goes for a swanton to Keith, which I thought was pretty fucking crazy. I think he did like a suplex off the top rope, and Keith ended up winning. Again, great match. Not to say, and I'm not saying Keith didn't get any offense in, but just judging by how the match was, I was like, does it look like Keith? Does it look like Dijakovic's going to win? Before we get into the next match, what's your opinion on Dijakovic?
Okay, let's keep it short and sweet. He has the look. he has the look, which is missing nowadays with a lot of wrestlers being, as someone will say, vanilla midget.
Yeah,
a hint of vanilla midget, and he has that. He's tall. He's like 6'4", like 6'3", 6'4", probably a little more. It has that look. The only thing is his mic skills, his charisma is not all there, but
yes,
you just again, that's through time. Like through time, he'll get a feel. And over time, he will improve on his mic skills. But in terms of his look and his ability, he has those boxes ticked. In a few years, give him a few years. He'll be something.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much agree with you. You hit the nail on the head. He has the look, but he has no charisma. I see him, and when I see him, I just think of ex-football player.
Yes.
Like, that's literally the only thing in my mind. Like, here's what bothers me about Dijakovic, aside from the fact that what his name is, Dijakovic.
Yeah, that name is...
Yeah, Joey Numbers, who actually worked with him because he's actually a Massachusetts boy, he said there's actually Donovan Dijak, which I don't get why they can't just go with that, but whatever.
Yeah.
For example, he was wrestling Adam Cole on an episode of NXT, and Adam Cole, as much as I like Adam Cole a lot, but Adam Cole is I think I'm taller than him, or it might be my height. And you got Donovan, Dijakovic, who's this big motherfucker, and he's having to sell for Adam Cole's kicks and his hits, which I'm just like, something about this doesn't look right.
Yeah.
And
one of these things are not like the other.
Yeah, exactly. I was listening, I'm name dropping a lot of wrestling soup guys tonight. Joey Numbers, he did a solo show recently for Patreon, where I forgot what the question was, where he had talked about examples of how the business is today than what it was tomorrow. For example,
right.
Taka Michinoku versus Kane back in the 90s. Kane would have beat the ever-living shit out of Michinoku back then.
Of course, yeah.
Today, if Taka Michinoku versus Kane happened today, then Taka Michinoku would have looked strong against Kane.
Yes.
And that's what's happening today. And again, it's not like I don't like most of the guys today, but it's like, yeah, a guy that short should not be getting that much offense in on a guy who's bigger than him.
Yeah, and listen, it's wrestling, but there has to be some realism to it. Like, I'm sorry, like, you can't have someone that's, like, and Adam Cole, cool, like, I'm a fan, but you just can't have someone that scrawny compared to, Dijakovic, he has to sell for Cole. It's like, come on now, like, to me, that's where my intelligence is insulted. Like, there has to be some realism in that. Like, guys like Dijakovic should just plow, they should plow through guys like Cole in a snowstorm. Like, that's how crazy, bigger guys selling for smaller guys in that aspect. That's why I like Lesnar, because he can just, have these good matches with these smaller guys, but at the same time, it's not about, let me get my shit in. It's like, nowadays, everyone just put their shit in rather than just tell a story. And knowing that, hey, like, this doesn't really match up well.
Exactly. A guy like Lesnar, who's legit, he can sell for these guys, but he'll make it look, how do I put this? Like, okay, like if he's wrestling against Daniel Bryan, Daniel Bryan's, without a doubt the best wrestler today, and they got Brock, who's the biggest star of today. Brock can sell for Daniel in a way that looks like, hey, he's beating the shit out of Daniel, and now Daniel's back is against the wall. So Daniel has to pull out all the stops, and he's just coming at him with all this fury, and Brock is really not expecting it, so he has no way of really figuring out a way to counter it, because Daniel's just coming right at him. And not like, hey, let's have Adam Cole go up to Brock Lesnar and punch him in the face, and Brock, he looks like a bitch for it. like you know what I mean? And also, the thing about Dijakovic, he needs another feud besides Keith Lee. Yeah,
it's like they go into the well 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 too many times. They have to start fresh feuds. Like, hey, just have, like, I don't know, remember the storyline from back in the day with Chris Jericho and Kane, and the feud started because Chris Jericho
cup of coffee.
Yeah, like, doesn't have to be like that, but just something like, hey, like, I want competition. Let me, just go to the PC and knock someone out, and bam, there you go. But You cannot go to what's always familiar, because then we've seen it one too many times, and it's just going to be like on the main roster. The main roster suffers from that. You can have all these good matches, like there's good feud, there's good pairing, but because essentially you've done it like every week. Oh, we're going to have Rusev and Lashley, for example, every freaking week, when you don't need to do that. Like, just doesn't always have to involve, having a wrestling match. But I really hope that they have some feuds. Like, hopefully with WrestleMania, like after WrestleMania, they'll start building up feuds. We can start culminating new feuds, because, like, again, you're going to have the same issues that you have on the main roster with just going to the well one too many times with these guys. Like, you got to keep it fresh and interesting, but don't blow your load too soon.
Yeah, exactly. So we're done with that. Next match is Dakota Kai defeating Tegan Nox in a street fight. You know what? I will give this match credit for one thing. You had these two girls out there that were they couldn't have been less than maybe 120. They told a good story out there, and they tried, but it's like we always say, if you're going to give trophies out for trying, you might as well give it to everybody.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it just, and these two girls, I mean, they're young. They're like super young. And I mean, they're not terrible in the ring, but they're just not there yet. And I like both of these girls, but they're just green as hell. And they're about to have a steel cage match in 2 weeks, so we'll see how that goes. But the match was not very good. It was just there. The ending. I mean, I guess we can just jump to the ending, and I'll get to you in a bit. I'll just let you voice your opinions after I get to the ending. The ending had, and I'm forgetting the girl's name for the life of me. Regina Rodriguez or some bullshit like that.
Yeah, we'll look it up.
Yeah, she comes out and she throws Tegan off the top rope, and not through the table. She kind of hit the table, but didn't go through the table. Which
bounced. Yeah, she bounced off the table. It didn't break.
Yeah, which looking back, that actually looked brutal. Like, that actually looked good. And also, you can't expect a girl who weighs less than 120 pounds to break a table. But I literally had no clue who that girl was, and the crowd didn't either. I know Don Tony. I'm not like attacking Don Tony for this. He made a good point, which was people who claim they watch NXT on a regular basis had no clue who this girl was. I watch NXT on a regular basis. I had no clue who this girl was, and apparently she was in the Mae Young Classic. I didn't watch the Mae Young Classic, and she's apparently been with NXT for 3 or 4 years. I mean, I can see what they were trying to doing. I just thought it was poor placement. What were your overall thoughts on the match?
The match, like, you gotta understand that you're not, with these two girls, they try their best out there, but at the end of the day, like, they're still green, and the feud was hot. Like, when during Survivor Series weekend, when Dakota Kai turned heel and just beat the ever loving shit out of Tegan, I was like, this is a heel turn. This is what we wanted Bayley to do. Like, one thing
I'll say about Tegan Nox, she knows how to sell. Like, when she was getting her leg snapped, like, ooh, like, that was just. It's like when they show the video of her, like, tearing her ACL at the Mae Young Classic, and then you can just hear her, like, give this blood curdling, like, wail and cry. You're like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
And that's what she was doing at NXT. Go ahead, man.
Yeah, like, dude, like, one thing I like like one of my favorite qualities about a performer is the ability to sell, and that goes to being able to tell a story. So when she was getting her legs beat by Dakota Kai, during a takeover during Survivor Series weekend, I was like, Jesus Christ! It was like a part of me was like, this is fucking awesome. I can't wait to see what's gonna happen from this. But then and the other part was like, Jesus Christ, like this is a bit uncomfortable. But you need that type of reaction. If it doesn't make you, uncomfortable at any sort, then they're not doing their jobs. But going back to the match, they tried. Everyone can't get a medal. I'm sorry. Like you rather get first place, second place, third place is just the first, last place loser. But first and second place, like there's.
Hello? And I think we lost Ruben. Fuck.
But they're young. Yeah, they're young. So they will have more time to become more seasoned. And this is why they're in NXT still.
And yeah, you're right. And like I said, I like both of these girls, and I want them to get better. They have what it takes to only get better and to improve.
Yes,
and they're young as hell. If this is like a situation in another year where they're still green, then that's a problem. But I think they have the capability. I mean, it wasn't terrible. It wasn't great. It wasn't lighting the world on fire. It was just there. Next match, Finn Balor versus Johnny Gargano. 27 minutes and 22 seconds. I'll let you start. Go. That wasn't a bad. That wasn't a bad groan. That was just like I'm trying to think of the words. But go ahead.
Yeah. Excuse me. This match, man, like with Johnny Gargano, like as obvious, everyone knows what happened in the main event, but I'm just like with Finn Balor, ever since he came back to NXT, like I wanted him to reinvigorate himself, because in the main roster it was just the drizzling shits.
Yeah.
But ever since he came back, he went back to NXT. A lot of good feuds. With Gargano. Also his matches, and with this match, like he was just talking like just the shit talk from this guy during this match. I was just like,
I love that.
Getting a little hot in here. Yeah, like I love it. Like you gotta be able to jaw jack, in the ring. You gotta be able to talk some smack. You can't be like, oh hey, look at me, like happy sunshines and rainbow. Like no, like you gotta go in there. You're in there to beat the hell out of people.
And one thing I've noticed about Finn, since he became a heel, his style in the ring has kind of changed a little bit. It's become a little bit more aggressive.
Yes.
And less, like Kevin Castle, mentioned on the show last night, less flippies, less kickies, a little bit more aggression and punching and more selling. And
yes,
I love the fact that he was shit-talking Gargano the whole match, especially the end of the match where he beats him. He literally has his fucking dick right in Gargano's face and is pointing at him and grabbing his face and going, I forgot what he said, but he's like, know your place or something. But I'm just like, damn, you're just going to teabag him, aren't you, Finn? Like, that's just, I loved it. Like, I love this new Finn.
Call of Duty days.
I love this Finn character. not really a concern. My only question is, what's the end game of having Finn in NXT?
Yeah, that's my thought in the back of my head. I know he's going to have good matches, and he has more freedom down there than he had in the main roster. But I do hope that he gets a title run, down the line. Like, if he's going to be there for a while, just as long as it makes sense, storyline sense. You just can't hot shot, like, just as long as you don't hot shot things and you let things work its way out. Or if, like we said many times with a lot of people in the main roster, you gotta strike while the iron is hot. So I do hope that this leads to something more. And hey, if he's over and had good feuds, I'm all for that too. But he still has a lot in the tank. He can't just be. He's too young to be all like that, and enhancement talent, or just to enhance people, because he has a lot of value, and I still feel that he can have a good run, not like a year run, but a couple of months with the right person to feud with, involving the belts, but. We just have to wait and see. This match, one of my favorites. I guess because I just like when Johnny got kicked. Like, I love Johnny wrestling, but just something about him getting his ass kicked. It's just kind of like a guilty pleasure of mine. Just kind of a guilty pleasure.
Hey man, keep talking. I'm just gonna go check something real quick.
Okay, you got it. Yeah, like me personally, like, I'm a fan of Johnny wrestling. The same issues I had with Adam Cole, I still, I had with Johnny wrestling, but he works his ass off. So to say, oh well, you hate, Ruben Prime hates all like little guys. No, not true. It's just sometimes people get carried away, with the small wrestlers, and they had to people have to sell for them like they're like Kane or Lesnar. Like you don't. I don't know. Just to me, I just like a little bit more realism. For my wrestling. Yeah, it's wrestling. It's hokey. It's a carnival show. There's certain things for me. I just wish that. I just sincerely wish that wrestling can get back to that, in a sense. It's just too much hokiness and smaller guys wrestling like big men, and big men wrestling little men. That's always been like my issue, and seeing that the past few years how the progression of wrestling has been. But I'm a fan. I'm a fan of Balor, Cole, but just wish there was certain realism there.
Yeah. Also with the addition of Killer Cross in NXT. Hello.
Hello.
Oh, hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, yeah. Well, with Killer Cross in NXT, you have a guy who, doesn't do a lot of flips. He's just a guy who can just go out there and beat the shit out of people, make them submit.
Yes.
So, we're hoping, wrestling can get back to, let's have guys that actually look like, I don't want to say men, because that sounds, kind of a fucked up thing to say, but let's have guys that don't look like they are, Abercrombie and Fitch, models.
Yeah.
We need more guys like Killer Cross. We need more guys like a Luke Harper or a Brock Lesnar who actually, look like fighters. I can see what they're doing by bringing in more UFC guys, but we need guys that are full-time.
Yes.
We need guys that that we know are going to be here every week. You know what I mean? And hopefully wrestling is heading back into the direction of, let's have guys that actually look like guys. Let's have guys that aren't going to do flips and kicks. I'm and yeah, I was listening. Another name drop. I was listening to Kevin Castle's show last night where he said, he literally just said, "I'm done with flips and kicks. I'm done with flippy kicky guys." And I was just like,
Yeah.
I'm laughing, but I'm also agreeing. I'm like, yeah, he's right. There's too many flippy kicky guys.
Yes, there are. Well, that's the thing. I'm sorry. That's the thing with WWE coming in and getting all the indie guys, because that's the style that they adopted. That's also the reason why I have issues with the the AEW, because in the beginning they wrestle like they were in the event, basically wrestling every just week to week instead of having long progression storylines, things like that. There was no story, and I'm all for having good wrestling matches. I'm all for having the characters and just intrigue, but there's just so much. There's just so much indie. Like, a lot of the indies has infected, let's say mainstream wrestling. Even though the indies is mainstream, it's a catch-22. But at the same time, just like, can we just not wrestle? Can you just please not wrestle? Like it's a video game, please. Like, please.
Yeah, it's like
too much.
It's like a guy like Kenny Omega, which I'm not a Kenny Omega fan at all. I think he's highly overrated, but he wants to continue to work this, video game style. And he's like, if I go to WWE, I'm not going to have any freedom. They're going to tell me to tone down my style. It's like, yeah, and you want to not be able to walk when you're 40? You look at AJ Styles. AJ Styles, in TNA was working that video game style, but he realized, holy shit, I'm in my 30s. I have a bad back. I need to tone it down. And he has, and, he's in the WWE making good money. He's having one of the better, runs of his career. He's better on the mic than he was before. He's having better matches. So a guy like Kenny Omega, a guy like Pentagon, they need to realize, A, I'm going to be making good money. I'm going to have job security for me and my family, or if I have a future family, and I'll be able to prolong my career.
Right.
You see where I'm getting at?
Of course, yeah. Like, my whole thing is, you can please the fan. When he came back, I was like, oh my God, like, he's his knees, he can't, like, stand up straight, like, jacked up. Like, when he's in the ring or he's in backstage segments, and I saw him standing, I was like, I felt so bad. I really did, because this guy entertained throughout the years, through all the era, and even when he went to TNA, like, doing his thing, and it's like, no one told him to do moonsaults off of the top of the cage and all this stuff, and do all these crazy things, but he did it, and he's paying the price. All these guys from they put their bodies, and then some they need to go, crazy. But at the time, hey, like, if it's crazy shit, then I'm gonna get more of a pay bump. I'm gonna get the admiration of the fans. Was like, damn, like, just looking at that, just looking at Kurt Angle, for example, like, you don't want that for the wrestlers of today wrestling, and that's why I'm against wrestling like a damn video game. Like, you have infinite lives. Like, once you shut off the video game, you don't got those lives. That's why I do hope that these guys, Pentagon and Omega especially, they tone it down, because you don't want to be in a wheelchair when it's like it sucks. Can't walk. You gotta think. It's just, it was bad, man.
Hey, just so you know, you're kind of cutting out every now and then.
I am.
Yeah, like when you're talking, you're like you'll be talking, and then but I'll see your profile like light up, but I don't hear anything, and then I'll hear your voice again.
Oh no!
So like you're fine now, but it keeps doing that. It keeps doing that every now and then. But next match is Rhea Ripley defeating Bianca Belair for the NXT Women's Championship. This match, not a bad match. I'm starting to like Bianca Belair a lot more.
Yeah.
Like at first, I was kind of so on her because I wasn't understand. I didn't understand the gimmick. I thought the whole whipping your hair thing was kind of hokey. I mean, I still think it is kind of hokey, but I'm starting to like her a lot more. She seems like she's more comfortable in her role. And
definitely, yeah.
She's having fun out there. I like her on the mic, especially like when she told Charlotte, "You don't even go here." Like I thought that was so funny. I thought that was great.
Oh man.
And she looks legit. Like she looks like she can beat the shit. Like she can literally beat the shit on most of these girls out there. Rhea Ripley I like, but I've been starting to notice a lot of not detractors, but just I guess people noticing things. I guess I'm not noticing. Where it seems like she's not that comfortable out there. And what do you think?
They do have a point. Because I've been noticing it too. A lot of times she kind of falls into moves. She doesn't seem comfortable. Mm-hmm. And I'm just like, this girl's young. Like she's 23 on this. Yeah, she's 20. Like Jesus Christ. Like
she's 23. She's 23, and Bianca is actually my age.
Wow. That's insanity. Like, I don't know, man. Like these wrestlers now, they're coming out test, I guess. But yeah, like I've been noticing, like Rhea Ripley, she's good. She's young. She has so many years. Wrestling fans are. We can be overly dramatic, like, oh my god, like, like. Calm down, relax, take a deep breath, take a swig of water. But yeah, I've been noticing that she's been like not comfortable in the ring. She kind of like falls into moves, and again, she's young, but she has to be, in it more, especially in this stage. Like she's stage champ. She's gonna have a match at WrestleMania, which I can, and Charlotte's in there, so she'll be able to hang. But as far as her comfortability, I'm seeing it like she's not comfortable. But hopefully in time she gets more comfortable in the ring and she flows better, because it's kind of like, again, she falls into moves. I don't know, like it's just something like odd. But she's again young. She's young. Like it's not the end of the world, but you do catch on those things. And as far as Bianca, like she's legit. I wish she was champion. Woman. She'll get women's gold. I'm still. I don't know if you remember, Drew, during Survivor Series weekend when NXT was just running roughshod on the main roster, and Bianca Belair, she just hoisted up. I think it was Carmella.
Yes,
yeah, it was Carmella. Yes. She just hoisted up and just threw her like the sack of garbage as she was. I was like, oh my god, yes, that was. I was so happy because I'm not a big Carmella fan. When she was with Enzo and Cass, yeah, but solo. So I was glad when Bianca just hoisted her up, just deadlifted her, and just threw her. I wish it was like a garbage can right there, to illustrate the point of what we think of Carmella.
Tell us how you really feel, Ruben.
I'll be here all night, but I don't have all the time. But yeah, like I'm a fan of Bianca.
It's like I only got 2 more hours, so try to keep it under 2 hours.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to eat up a lot of time, but I'm like that made me. I was already a fan during Survivor Series weekend, but she has it all. Like at first, the whole hair thing, I was like, I'm not a fan, but I'm ever since the last, let's say 6 months, I became a fan. She has gotten more comfortable. She's gotten in the groove. And again, if she doesn't get gold in NXT, there's always the main roster. I cannot wait what they have in store for her. And it's just been kind of pushed off to the side because, Charlotte, all that. But I do hope she wins gold because she's been, putting in the work lately, and I sincerely hope that she gets some gold. She has a good feud going into it, and again, Chuck and Carmella. That's all I need. You can do that forever.
You're number one. You're all right in my book for doing
that.
Yeah. Going back to Rhea. Yeah, she's really young, but it's one of those things where it's like she's in a high profile match with possibly the best woman in the company, and maybe the best woman as far as like women's wrestlers go.
Right.
And I mean, no pressure on her. She's going to have to learn to get comfortable because she's going to be at WrestleMania. She's going to be in front of 65,000, 70,000, 80,000 people.
Yeah.
Most of them probably don't even know who she is because because I'm going to let everybody in on a little secret. Come closer. Not everybody watches NXT.
Oh yeah.
Like yeah. I know it's shocking, but not everybody watches NXT. So, the company's going to do what they can to push her to the moon and make her more recognizable, which I think they can. She has a good look. She's a big girl. And is it me? I don't know if it's just me, but when I hear her talk, I hear Wade Barrett for some reason.
A little bit.
She's out there talking, Bianca, you better get your ass out here. That was a bad impression. I'm sorry, but I just hear female Wade Barrett when I hear her talk, which is not bad because Wade Barrett's pretty good on the mic. But I just can't help but hear that. I need to get that out for some reason. But
yeah,
due time she'll get better. But rushing her into a main event, it feels like this main event thing with Charlotte. Or I don't know if it's going to be a main event, but it's a big match. It seemed like it was rushed. I mean, but I don't know. I'm pretty sure they'll have a good match, and she'll do just fine. The only way this match will be better is if Rhea wins.
Yes, I agree.
There is no excuse for Charlotte to win this match. She does not need to win the NXT Women's Championship. She didn't even need to win the Royal Rumble. But,
agreed.
But, I guess this is the idea they had in the beginning. Because, it's clear that they really like Rhea. And they really love the shit out of Charlotte.
Oh, of course.
So, again, I'm pretty sure the match will be fine. But if Rhea doesn't win, then all this doesn't mean shit.
I have my concerns. I really do have my concerns about this match. Like the match is going to be as a good match, but it's like Charlotte has done it all, and it's just well, not this, but they just want her to have a bunch of the first time ever, and I'm really concerned that I have a lot of concerns, but this is like one of the on the top because you just had Rhea. Win the NXT title. It's like, are they really gonna, have Charlotte go over? Like, I'm kind of, I have my concerns. but we'll see.
Yeah, exactly. So what was the next match? Next match is the NXT Tag Team Championships. The Broserweights, Matt Riddle and Pete Dunne versus the Undisputed Era, Bobby Fish and Kyle O'Reilly. I know what you're laughing at. What is your opinion on the whole how much fish could Bobby Fish fry if Bobby Fish could fry fish? Like, what's your whole opinion on that?
Kind of cheesy.
Exactly.
I'm a fan. I gotta admit, I'm a fan of cheesy stuff because when you had a lot of cheesy stuff, like the comedy was different, the humor was different.
Yeah, but this is like what like something a 6-year-old would find funny.
Yes, and that's why I'm like, if it catches on to people, repeat it. I don't know if they made a shirt already, but
They did.
They did. Oh Lord, it's not gonna sell. It's not gonna sell. Maybe just to frame it like, LOL, here we go. But to me, there's just a level of cheesiness that I can tolerate. And this is it goes beyond what I can tolerate, But hey, it catches on. Like if people over in Full Sail, they try to repeat it and all that. It's okay, but I'm not overly jumping and doing cartwheels off.
I mean, it is what it is. It's one of those things where I hear it and I just I chuckle, not because I think it's funny, more just it wouldn't surprise me if Matt Riddle came up with this, because he strikes me as someone who's a goofball and he finds humor in the most strangest ways, and also he's a pothead. So I mean, shocking. I really do. My cat's about to jump on my laptop. You better not. You better fucking not. Okay, false alarm. But I like this tag team of him and Dunn because we've seen this before and it always works. You have the guy who's a goofball, and then you have the straight laced serious guy. And I don't know if you saw them. I like the promos they were doing leading up to it, where they were trying to get to Portland. Where
those are pretty funny. Those are pretty funny.
Matt Riddle's like, I don't have a license, bro, and Pete Dunne's like, are you kidding me? And they get on Triple H's jet, which they showed some on Twitter where they asked Triple H, do you know they're on your jet? And he's like, wait, what? So,
oh man.
I mean, supposedly, the reason why they were teaming up was a way to punish Matt Riddle because, Vince apparently doesn't like him because, he's always going on Twitter talking shit. And when they asked Triple H about it, Triple H was just like, what do you want me to do about it? I don't think Matt Riddle gives two fucks. If they tell him, hey, go out there and wear this tutu, he's going to make it the most interesting thing on the show. So he's been able to make this tag team work, and they're over. And as much as we think the whole fish fry thing is cheesy and goofy, it's over. The crowd was singing it. They made shirts of it. I'm pretty sure people were going to buy it.
Oh yeah.
Second thing, I had no idea that Bobby Fish was old, that old.
Me neither.
He's my girl's actually older than me. He's actually my girl's age.
Oh wow.
And my girl actually looks younger than him.
That's insane. I didn't know he was that old until they. Wait, what?
I mean he looks good for his age. I mean he obviously keeps himself in shape, but he's rocking the gray. He's not ashamed to rock that gray. So props to him for rocking that gray.
Definitely.
Third thing, overall the match was really good. Good back and forth action. For a second, it looked like they were going to do the whole, when I think it was Pete Dunne that accidentally hit Matt. And
Yeah.
No. It was actually Matt Riddle that accidentally speared Pete Dunne. And I thought they were going to do the whole, let's have these two turn against each other when they just barely started the tag team, which I was just like,
Oh, boy. Yeah.
But no, they ended up winning.
I didn't like that. Yeah,
No,
I don't like when they do that. Oh, like if you're going to do that, let it be down the line. Like when the tag team's established, they had a lengthy title run. But if they're just doing that now, I've been seeing that tag team, especially in AEW. I'm like, oh, come on, don't do that again. Oh, they did it again. But we'll get to that later. But I'm glad that they didn't go that route. Now the brand new tag champs, I'm glad that they got the. They probably Fish, Bobby Fish and Lolly. They're gonna get the belts back again. So they'll be your first ever 4-time NXT tag champs soon. So
Next match is the main event. Adam Cole defeated Tommaso Ciampa to retain the NXT Championship. The match was 33 minutes and 23 seconds. Wow. The match was good, but it seemed like it went on a little bit too long. And they were like, I probably should have wrote this down to see how many false finishes there were, because this match was false finish galore. If you're a connoisseur of false finishes, you'll like this match. And the match was good. I honestly didn't think Tommaso Ciampa would win.
Oh no! It'll be too soon for him to get it back. And
I didn't see the ending. I didn't see the ending happening, but the whole let's have the Undisputed Era come out and help Adam Cole win and blah 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 yada yada yada.
Yeah, that was the part when the Undisputed Era was out, and they had the belt, but it wasn't used until a little later on, and then Gargano came out. It was like you already the reason why I felt they really turned heel. They really turned again. Oh my god! Again. But then I was like, wait a minute. They didn't have their blow off feud because Tommaso Ciampa got injured. Suddenly one of them got in the blow off. So it's like, okay, they got to do this now. The WrestleMania weekend to culminate the feud and just be done with it. So I'm like, okay, but it was a swerve. Depending. It was a good swerve, but man, to me the match, more than halfway into the match, it was too, it was they were trying to get to the point, hey, wrap it up, that Dave Chappelle skit, wrap it up.
Wrap that shit up.
Yeah. Just pull up that. I wish they can do that with Raw and SmackDown. Just put it on Vince's desk. Just wrap it up, or just go out there with a big boom box and just hit play, wrap it up.
Or just have Vince appear on. Just have Vince appear on the screen. Wrap it up.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. Damn it.
Please. Let's please. Sometimes these matches, these segments, they just go on forever. So yeah, the main event was okay. I'm a fan of I'm more of a fan of
Tommaso.
Tommaso Ciampa, because me and him, we beard and a bald head, so I'm a fan. I'm a fan of you. You don't know how Just go to my Twitter, well, Instagram, but I post stuff on Twitter too. But yeah, like me and him were brothers. He just don't know it yet. Doesn't know it yet. But I am a fan. I am a fan of his, but I don't know. Just this match was like, it was okay. It wasn't like, oh good God, like it wasn't anything mind blowing.
Yeah, it was. Like I said, it was pretty dry. When I was rewatching it, I kept fighting the urge not to fall asleep because I'm just like, is this match still happening? And too many super kicks later, knee kicks later, backstabbers later, whatever you call that move that Tommaso does. I'm just like, oh my God, this match is still happening. And I mean, not a bad match, but just going to the whole Gargano thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense because they didn't get to have their big blow-off match at Mania. What do you see that match doing, though? Like, for example, I saw somebody suggest maybe they should have a Hell in a Cell match at TakeOver Tampa.
Well, the only way that match can, if that were to happen, Gargano has to fall, not off of the cage, but they had to climb up all the way to the top to the rafters and then jump off of that onto the cell and then bounce off of the cell into tables. That's the only way that they can top anything that they've done previously, because there's just no way, like all the matches that they had, all the crazy tips that they had, that you gotta have them falling off of the balcony or something and bouncing off the cell, bouncing off tables, because they haven't killed each other. Like they that's the only thing they haven't done yet, is basically kill each other, like to near death. So I'm for it, but they just gotta, like, they cannot make it hokey, because they're already bastards of Hell in a Cell. I'll talk about that again, but they'll figure out something. They already did a street fight, a non-sanctioned fight, so they gotta. Yeah, hello.
Yeah, they did a Last Man Standing for and that was when Tommaso won the championship. Yeah. So, I mean, it seems logical to do a Hell in a Cell. So, I mean, we'll see. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they had their match at Mania.
Yeah.
It seems like it would make sense. I mean, they're already having an NXT Women's Championship match at Mania. So, I mean, personally, just have the NXT matches at Mania, because the other matches I'm pretty sure are going to be forced, like a Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, because that gets everybody over.
Oh, of course. Big Show, Mojo Rawley, Cesaro, like, it's done wonders for the career.
King Corbin.
Folks, oof.
Or not even King Corbin, Baron Corbin.
Yes. They're two different people. They got two different paychecks. But oh man, like, if they still gonna have that match, like, oh Lord help us. That's just gonna be an opportunity for me to go to the bathroom, to go and get food, or get beer, unless we already have that, for the show. But when that match happens, I'm not going to be there.
Yeah, unfortunately for me, since I'm the only one that does the show, I have to pay attention to the match. That match, they should just change that match to "Hi Mom, I'm on TV."
Yes,
it's just, I
agree.
But overall, what were your thoughts on TakeOver? Highs and lows.
Highs were the opening, Balor versus And the lowlights, unfortunately, the women's match. And also the main event, because too many false finishes. Like it when you do all these moves just to set up, like I'm just like, okay, I'm tuning out. I'm really tuning out because it's like, what's the point of doing a Canadian destroyer off of the top rope and just for a 2 count, or just an assortment of moves just for a near fall? Like it's hokey. It's hokey to me. Like that really kills it for me when I'm watching matches, especially main event match. But the opening match and Balor versus Gargano were the highlights.
Yeah, I agree. I think you and me have the same choices. Keith Lee and Dijakovic, these two just continue to have good chemistry. I'm pretty sure it's going to continue to the next takeover.
Yes.
Balor versus Gargano was great. Balor as a heel works. Just his shit talking throughout the whole match. I loved it. It made my heart fill with joy seeing how much of a heel he's become.
Yes.
Yeah, the women's street fight was it was just there, and the main event wasn't terrible, but it was just I think they had to make up for the fact that it was so dry that they had to do these false finishes. So overall, I give this NXT. I give it an 8 out of 10. What would you give?
Fair.
Yeah, what would you give it?
Yeah, around 8 out of 10. I say B or B plus, around that.
Yeah, that works. I mean, I don't think there's ever been a bad takeover, personally. I mean, I think the only bad takeover I can think of was when Drew McIntyre won the NXT Championship. And I mean, even with that was still a decent takeover. Overall, there hasn't really been a bad takeover.
Oh no, never. Like even with their, and I don't like saying this, but even that's not par, but like their average takeovers is still pretty good. But you have people. I'm sorry, you just have people say, "Oh, takeover ever." I'm like, you said that last time. No, but this is true. And then watch the next takeover. Oh, this is the greatest takeover ever. I'm like, you said that the last time. But no, but you see, you had this. Oh, okay, all right, you got it.
I mean, even an average takeover is better than like a Night of Champions pay-per-view.
Oh yeah, for sure. Oh yeah, for sure.
And before we start talking about the ratings, do you think that WWE should do what AEW is doing as far as their pay-per-views go and just like scale back?
Yes, in terms of the pay-per-views, yes. There's too many. There's so many pay-per-views, dude. Like me and my co-host / close friend, we had conversations about this on and off podcast about just the amount of pay-per-views and little to no building up for the next show, right? To, as they say, the show of shows. You have the Rumble, and then you include these shows have been pulling, they've been putting a wrench into the build-up because they had to build up for these shows. And it's like, I'm like, for the fans of Saudi Arabia, like, hey, like, there's fans all over the world. It's not just here in the Western world. There's fans all over the world. So I'm happy that they're able to have a big show, but it ruins the continuity of building up to Mania, because you have all these shows and you have B and C and D pay-per-views when all you need is the big four or the big five. You count Money in the Bank as a pay-per-view. Get rid of all the gimmicks. Get rid of the Elimination Chamber.
Yes.
I would say Money in the Bank, but now you have
Get rid of the Money in the Bank pay-per-view and make that a WrestleMania match again.
Yeah.
Because that was probably the most exciting part of Mania, was that Money in the Bank match. And, they decided to make that a pay-per-view, which I guess, but, they want to have 17 matches on Mania because they want to give everybody a chance. It's like, what happened to, if you're not on the show, it's because you suck?
Yeah, that's a strange concept. Like, I assumed if you weren't on the show, it's because you're not good, but now it's because there's so many people on the roster that they can't. Like, you won't have a style or a few other wrestlers not on the show, but then you have Eric Rowan. You have Eric. What happened?
I mean, keep a battle royal, but keep them for all right. Here's my suggestion, because this is something they used to do. If you're not going to use it, if you're not going to use certain people, put them in a battle royal, but put them in the pre-show. And for the main show, that's where you have the Money in the Bank match. Problem solved. Yeah. Yeah. And I think you and me even had this conversation before. Get rid of these gimmick pay-per-views. Have Hell in a Cell mean something again. Have TLC mean something. Keep Extreme Rules, but make every fucking match extreme. Don't just have 3 matches where one's extreme, one's an I Quit match, one's a ladder match, and then you have a regular wrestling match. Have every fucking match mean something. Have every match be an Extreme Rules match or some type of Extreme Rules match. You know what I mean? It's a good concept, but make every match have an extreme outcome. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally get it. Because you'll have matches on point. It kind of defeats the purpose, of having an Extreme Rules type of show when you have no matches. It's like, what's the point? And then some of these feuds merit a stipulation, but then you have other matches that just barely started. That's barely. It's a newborn. The feud is a newborn, and you're having, TLC matches or a lot of matches or whatever. It's like, no, what is this? But you have a good feud, a potential, match of the year candidate, but you'll have good matches or good pairings and no stipulation, just a regular match. So I'm just all for, like you said, having Extreme Rules pay-per-view with every match having a stipulation in it.
Yeah. Have a TLC match, have a ladder match, have a tables match, have a I Quit match, have a street fight, have a backstage brawl, have a
bowling brawl.
Yeah, exactly, a parking lot brawl.
Yeah.
Fucking The Fiend, a boiler room brawl. That seems like something that'd be right up his alley.
Oh, yeah.
I
wonder why they haven't done that yet.
It's and also you have NXT. NXT's pretty much the third brand already. If you need better feuds, if you need better matches, and not Dolph Ziggler versus whoever the fuck for the 5th time, bring in these NXT guys and have their feuds on the pay-per-view, so you can give them an Extreme Rules outcome. Have Keith Lee versus Donovan Dijakovic in a Last Man Standing match. That. Yes. That would be fucking dope. You know what I mean? Or have the NXT champion, NXT championship, in a ladder match. You know what I mean? Adam Cole versus Finn Balor, for example. I'm just throwing out random names. So because what disgusts me is that through the Royal Rumble and WrestleMania, there should be no pay-per-views.
Yes.
And they're having this Elimination Chamber match. And I don't even care to pull up the card, but it's Shayna Baszler, which we already know she's going to win. It's going to be Shayna versus Becky. And then you have Liv Morgan, you have Ruby Riott, you have Sarah Logan, which, why does this bitch have a job still? I don't get it. And that's not knocking Sarah Logan. I'm sure she's a nice girl. And then you have I can't even think of the other names, but
Natalia? Is Natalia in it?
For the love of God, can Natalia please retire already?
Please, like, listen, Natalia, like, she's girl wrestler. Yeah, she's cute. She's a little cat.
Well, no, I love Natty. Everybody else loves Natty. Natty seems like the type of person that if she found out one of your relatives just passed away, she would bring you banana bread and console you the whole time. Like, yes. she would be there for you. But it's just like, as soon as her music hits, as soon as that fake Bret Hart theme hits, immediately I'm just like, done. Gonna get pizza rolls.
Yep.
So
we have some more touch there when she comes out. It's a shame because she should be like I feel like she has wrestled like every female except for like Shayna and just the majority of the women's roster she's wrestled more than once, and it's like, why is she still wrestling? She's done all she could. She's been women's champion, divas champion. Like, she's done it all. Like, just stop.
I mean, she could be a trainer at the Performance Center.
Yeah, like I'm all for her being a. Especially some of these girls do. Like they need more. They lack psychology. So I feel like she can help with that, but please, like, be a trainer, like, help out behind the scenes, because, just going out there, just having these matches, and people are speaking that they're going to take a piss break or show off, and it sucks. She's really good, but her time has come.
Yeah, exactly. But the pay-per-views there need to be less of them. Just have the big four.
Yes.
And extreme rules, but make it extreme.
Extreme, like not really extreme, but we just put extreme label on the title for the pay-per-view instead of actually being extreme, but just for ECW nostalgia, to beat that horse like beyond death already. But yeah, TLC, Thomas, Money in the Bank. I think those are all that's all the gimmicks. Yeah, like, get rid of them. Like, it would be cool to have a elimination during SummerSlam, or have it during, I don't know, Survivor Series. Like, it makes a great deal of sense. Elimination Chamber around Survivor Series, or have it one of the big four pay-per-views. But no, we gotta have it the same time every year. It's so predictable, and especially with this match, with the women's match, it is so predictable that people already know. Like, why have this match? And it's because they didn't want Charlotte didn't want Shayna to win the Rumble. Like, it would make sense, have Shayna and then have the Elimination Chamber match, because then they will have some intrigue. A challenge Bayley. Well, who's going to challenge Bayley? Now it's like, oh, we already know Shayna's going to challenge. And it just takes a surprise off of the match. I don't get it. I do get it, but at the same time, I don't get it. Why?
No,
why Charlotte?
They they just need to shoehorn in those pay-per-views, I guess. But
yeah.
Let's get to the ratings. The ratings came out today.
Yeah. Yes.
Week 20, which I just found out was week 20.
Jesus.
AEW yet again wins. AEW with 893,000. Yes. NXT with $794,000. It makes sense because last night I tweeted, I don't think NXT had a very good show. I mean, it wasn't terrible. Usually they have pretty solid shows, but then again, you can't expect them every week to say, here's a championship match, and here's another championship match, here's two championship matches, here's a blah 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 match. No, every now and then they're due to have a bad show, or just like a mediocre show. Case in point, Roderick Strong was the main event of last night.
Yeah.
Him and Velveteen Dream, who returned 2 weeks ago. I want to ask you something about this whole feud with Velveteen Dream. Okay, so for anyone who's not too sure about it, Velveteen Dream came back, and he's taunting Roderick Strong by having the faces of Roderick Strong's his wife and his son, painted on his tights. Basically teasing a Roderick Strong, hey, if anything ever happens to you, I'll take care of, your wife and your kid. Which, on paper, Roderick Strong is supposed to be the heel.
Yes.
And Velveteen Dream is the quote-unquote babyface, which he's a tweener at best. But if you're not a wrestling fan, if you were just watching this, you would go, wait, why are people cheering Dream? Isn't he supposed to be the bad guy because he's talking about, fucking Roderick Strong's wife and, taking his kid? It's like, well, no, he's the good guy because they cheer him. Roderick Strong's an asshole, so they boo him. It's like, but why would he be an asshole for getting mad about another guy talking about another guy wanting to fuck his wife?
Yep, and I don't know if you saw last night. He pulled his.
Yes.
I like blue ring gear that he. It's like very Prince-ish. And he revealed that he had on the back and the front, Roderick Strong's wife. And I was like, that's, like in the hood or in the, as they say, just in the hood. If you did that to someone, you'll get your ass kicked. Like, straight up. So for him to do that, like he went a step further. It was pretty entertaining. That okay, you expect Dream to be the heel, to be the face. I was like, nope, flip those around, and it's like it kind of like it's funny, isn't it? It's that disconnect because one, like, who you're supposed to cheer, you have to boo, but the one you're supposed to boo, you gotta cheer, and it's like kind of the dynamics is kind of like flip floppy, and that's the thing. Like, there's really no clear cut heels and baby faces because someone that's a bad guy can have more and say, "Oh, I'm not gonna, for myself and my family," but then you have the quote unquote good guy taunting his adversaries, taunting his adversary and have his family on his fucking crotch and his tights. It's like, what? it's funny. It's funny as hell. It was entertaining. There was even some things going online that the gloves that Velveteen Dream was wearing were the oh my god, it's actually Roderick Strong's wife's panties. And I was like,
ugh.
If that's true, Roderick Strong, he's gonna have some words with his wife. That. I like that about wrestling, just those little nuances. But again, this goes back, like, the person you should be cheering, you have to boo, vice versa. It's kind of off-putting. It's kind of upsetting. You're supposed to cheer, but what they're doing is it's kind of wanky. But I have a question.
Yeah.
Do you think Velveteen Dream is gonna have a match Mania and Cena? Like me, I would like to see it.
I mean, that wouldn't be a bad match. Anyone that doesn't know, Cena is coming back on February 28th. The hot rumor is that he's handpicked his opponent. Some potential names are Velveteen Dream, Keith Lee, which I wouldn't mind seeing that. Some other names which I don't get: King Corbin, Elias, which that's surprising because Elias really hasn't been doing anything. And also, Elias is supposed to be a face, and he's really not that over. So, I mean, Dream and Keith Lee, I think, would make more sense because they're younger and they could use the push. Whereas Elias has already had a push, and there is no sane person on this earth that would want to see King Corbin versus Cena. And
oh my god!
And we can shit talk John Cena all we want. John Cena's smart. He's no dummy. I'm pretty sure he does not want to work with Corbin. And I don't know if you remember this, but when he was working a match with Corbin at SummerSlam, you can see John yelling, "This guy can't work." and Cena has the reputation for being a guy that talks very loud during his matches. And wrestlers, they talk during matches. Cena, you can hear him yell his spots.
Yes.
Like, there was a spot with him and AJ Styles where they were working at, I think it was Money in the Bank 2016 when, AJ was trying his heel run. And you can hear John yell, "I want you to do a hip toss and then counter it." And you hear AJ, "What?" Oh man, but yeah, Cena's no dummy. Like there is no chance in hell you will ever be able to convince me that he wants to work with King Corbin.
Oh no! My god!
Supposedly he's a big fan of Dream. He wants to work with Dream. Keith Lee wouldn't be a bad choice. So, I mean, yeah, I wouldn't mind seeing Dream and Cena. I mean, that you have two characters that are very different. Cena at this point has nothing to prove, so there's no reason for him to win against who he chooses.
Yeah.
And I think Cena's at the point of his career, he's like, I don't give a fuck. I'm going to put whoever you want me to put over. We'll just go out there and have a great match.
Yeah, he's making just piles of money. He's over, like he's got rid of got rid of her, like, thank God.
Yeah.
She's toxic. And he's doing well for himself. And he's gone through a change. Like, he looks very different, like, compared to, like, when he was, when he was wrestling, full time. Like, he looks just different. He's enjoying life. And
yeah, he's a lot.
If you were to put,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm saying he looks a lot more leaner than he was before.
Yeah.
He has those Just for Men hair plugs, which I'm not hating. The guy's 40 something. He has money, so I don't judge people for getting hair plugs. What I do judge is people that don't get hair plugs. But
yes.
I don't hate Cena's got hair plugs. It's fine with me. But what were you going to ask me?
I was going to say like regarding Baron Corbin and that never ends. The latest isn't not the one of the episodes of Saw Monster Sounds. Shout outs to Saw Monster, aka Orange Cassidy,
aka Daniel Bryan. But go ahead.
Yes, dude, they look. Those three look alike. Like, oh my god! But we'll get into that.
Yeah.
I don't know if you watched the show. This children's show. It's called Lamb Chop, and at the end they play this. This is a song that never. And he played that song. this podcast, and I was like, oh God, this is exactly this to the T, because this feud never ends. What's wrestling suit? Your podcast, or just like the Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns or some capacity, like on for 6 months.
Ugh.
Why is it still on? Like, kill me now, please. Give me a gun, I'll shoot. Please.
I'm convinced, and I'll give Baron Corbin this much credit. He's improved in the ring.
Yes.
He actually wears better attire for himself that makes him look like a wrestler.
Yes.
He's actually embraced the heel role.
Oh yeah.
He's learned to stay off social media. I guess Joey Numbers kind of put him in his place. If anyone remembers that, Joey Numbers pretty much put him in his place. I still don't care. It's still not enough to convince me to care about this guy. Yeah, from what I hear, he's a good guy in the back. But then again, like we said about Dakota Kai and Tegan Knox, if everybody was a nice guy, then everybody deserves a promotion.
Yes.
I think I'm a nice guy, but do I deserve to be CEO? No. I'm very underqualified for that, but I don't get what they see in this guy. I don't. I'm convinced that he has pictures of somebody in a compromising position. He's sleeping with somebody in the back. I don't get what they see in him. I really don't. I'm really trying to see what they see in him, Ruben. I can't. I see him and I just go, what is about this guy that people like? Tall, slow, lumbering white guy. Vanilla as hell, boring. It's just, I don't get it. I don't see it.
I think I got it.
What?
His two moves, the D6 and the end of the day. I think that's what sold people to how this. He has two good moves. His finisher and one of his follow was so good. I was like, yes, they are. They look great. They look like they hurt. Well, end of the day, look like they hurt you more than your opponent. But the Deep Six looks awesome. But I think that he has some photos, or he has some recording of somebody up top. That's the only explanation. Way, if I was Baron Corbin and I was, I'll probably been fired. I'll probably not say I'll do a better job, but I'll probably get fired. I'll probably be in. I'll be in catering next to Apollo.
If he was if he was on the roster, say in 2004, he would have been fired within a month. It's just Get ready for that Baron Corbin world title run.
Oh, it's coming. Second half of 2020.
That'll be darker than the Great Khali title run.
Oof.
I don't know. I'd rather watch JBL's 10-month title run. Hey, at least JBL had heel heat. At least he knew how to rile up a crowd. He got that psychology down. Which speaking of JBL, the rumor is that he's going to go into the Hall of Fame this year.
Yes, I heard about that. I have my feelings with issues with JBL, like more so the hazing and all that, but his in-ring career, his WWE title is awesome. So for all his, I do think he should be. Oh God. I do feel like he, especially with his WWE title run, like I remember of his title run because at that time I've checked out of wrestling, but I was like what? I was saying, who's the champ? I was like, oh, it's Bradshaw. Like, really, the guy from APA? It's like, yeah. I was like, oh. I checked it out. I was like, okay, like, like, it was changed. Like, he looked completely wearing the suits, with the Texas Longhorn. Like, okay, it's different, and like, dramatic character changes for some of these guys. That's another discussion for another time. But his tag team work, like APA, all the stuff he's done behind us, off of wrestling, being a philanthropist and all that. That's probably why, like, one of the reasons why he'll be in the Hall of Fame to promote that, because he's done a lot of humanitarian work, but just feelings aside, because but all those films deserve.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I mean, a lot of people hate Bradshaw, and it's justified.
Yeah.
At least he's out in the open about it. I mean, not that makes it any better,
Right.
but he's out in the open. He's like, "Yeah, I was a dick. So what? Deal with it." Like, and he owns up. He owns up to his assholeness. Like when Joey Styles punched him in the face on I think it was an Afghanistan tour. Yeah, he was up front about it. He's like, yeah, he punched me in the face, so what? So, and, him on announcing, I mean, like, he was okay on announcing.
He was good. Like, he was good in the beginning, but of course, when Vince gets in your ear, that's it. Like, he's in your ear, forget it. There's, like, you're gonna suck because you have Vince or Kevin Dunn in your ear, just telling you, oh, say this. Oh, it's like you can't think because you have someone in your ear telling you to say this or do this. Oh, you're fired, or talk about urine jokes or whatever. So it really stifles in the commentary team when they have Vince in their ear. It's like, stop it. Mm-hmm. Stop it. But yeah, like, he's like, besides all that, I feel like he's deserving of Hall of Fame. And minus the Bella twin, this class is looking pretty if that, but minus the Bella twins, this looks like a pretty impressive class. If they have Liger, NWO, Batista, JBL, it looks like a pretty good class, and it's almost WrestleMania. Like they're kind of behind on the the inductees. Like, they will usually have, like, by now almost everyone introduce. It's kind of odd.
Yeah, I mean, it's very clear that they're running out of names, so they're just inducting who they can that has, I guess, some name value.
Yeah,
I mean, because the Rock's still not in the Hall of Fame. Pretty sure Cena's going to be in it in a few years, and they have this obsession with, hey, let's induct factions in. So, so I mean, Jim Cornette's still not in the Hall of Fame. That'd be interesting.
I think he'll be in. He'll be in the Hall of Fame. Like, he'll be in the Hall of Fame before Arn gets in the Hall of Fame. Like, that's how sure I am.
Oh man, I love Jim Cornette. I don't care what anyone says about him. I love Jim Cornette. He just does not give two fucks. But
that's what I like about him. Yeah, that's what I like about him. He doesn't get two fucks.
I mean, he can be a little bit too much at times, but at the same time, I respect the hell out of him. AEW.
Okay.
The AEW show from last night, and It was good. I think it was maybe the best show I've seen in a while.
Agreed.
I mean, let's not waste time just going through every match. I mean, this is one thing we've been beating to death. Their women's division is just not good. It is just not good. You had Chris Statlander, which this is my first time seeing her, and her gimmick is apparently that she's an alien.
Yes,
or from a galaxy far, far away, something like that.
Yeah.
She was fighting some girl from France named Shana or whatever her name is, who the only thing that caught my attention was A, she was wearing a Dragon Ball Z getup.
Yes.
And B, she has a very nice ass. Other than that, the match was cacas.
Yes. The women's division in AEW, it's as we say, basura, the straight, hot, steaming pile of basura, and you will think that, and I get all, like, you know, not every company is going to have a spectacular women's division. You can still have, even if on paper or the women's division, like, you know, appealing, appetizing, whatever, if you present these women in a way that can, you know, highlight their strengths, highlight their weaknesses, you know, have them go out there, tell us, and not on being on their YouTube channel, like actually have, just actually have these women out here being showcased, not just have them out there with, you know, having a match. Like, we gotta know who these women are, and I'm sorry, like, they have been doing a shit job when it comes to the women's division, and they also missed the boat on having Nyla Rose being the first women's champ. Like, if they was gonna do it, they should have done it, because having Riho and, like, a sweet girl who was wrestling like since she was 9, I think 8 or 9. I'm just like, okay, that's cool, but she's like 98 pounds. It's like 98 pounds soaking wet. Like I was afraid that now would break her in half, literally. You know? This match should not be happening. Like, I'm sorry, but it's just, again, we go back to the realism. A lot of, like, especially nowadays, like, it's just too hokey, too cartoony, and nothing, you know, especially in women's division, it's just Japanese woman A, a generic women's wrestler 1 and 2. Like, it has to be more. And I'm like, I'll just go, you know, NXT or Raw, SmackDown. Well, NXT for a woman's, you know, for a woman's wrestling, and there are other companies too, but around, you're not gonna find it in AEW, unfortunately.
Yeah, I don't think they should have had a women's division in the first place, but, you know, it's a little too late for that now.
Yeah.
Nyla Rose. I mean, I guess I kind of agree with you, you know, because it's strange because AEW's whole thing is, you know, we're all about diversity and A, B, C, and D and blah, blah, blah. And yet, I don't think they've ever mentioned the fact that Nyla Rose is transgender.
No.
Or transgendered, you know, female. Sorry.
Yeah.
But you would think that's something that they would use for her character as a way to kind of, you know, not give her sympathy, but give her more, like,
edge.
like give her more of an edge, have more of an appreciative factor to her. I'm not saying you have to make her a face, because she can't be a face. Like, she needs to be a heel. But that's a way you can get her over. Like, you know, my whole life I've had to live with, you know, this fact that I'm really a woman living in a man's body, and it pisses me off that I have to hide it. You know, I'm tired of this homophobia going around. I'm tired of this transphobia going around. I'm just going to do my own thing. I'm going to be Nyla Rose, and I'm going to beat the shit out of anyone who gets in my way and tries to tell me otherwise. Like that's a way you can get her over and make her an effective heel. You
Yeah,
know what I mean,
be a little offensive. You got to be a little offensive.
like you don't need to be transphobic. You don't need to have MJF come out and say, "Oh, you're a dyke" or blah blah. But I mean, that would be a surefire way to make him a heel. That's something that I don't put past them doing, is making them be a fucking homophobe. But I don't see them doing that. But kind of going through the whole night. Let's just get to the part of the night that matters. Cody versus Wardlow, which I hate that name, by the way. It's stupid. They had a cage match, which, Cody wins because that was per the agreement for him getting his match with MJF was he couldn't touch MJF. He had to take 10 lashes, and then he had to face Wardlow in a steel cage. And during the match, Cody gets color. Which, that made sense. And, I'd never seen Wardlow wrestle before, but, he looked pretty good out there. And
he don't look too bad out there wrestling.
You
always see him in the suit. Like, I was like, damn. Like, you always see him in a suit and tie. I was like, okay, all right.
Yeah, he wasn't too shabby. He also had Cody to work with, so Cody made him look pretty good. MJF doing his usual heel shtick, going up to Arn. I like how he was going to Arn and be like, imagine he's Dustin, or not Dustin, Dusty. You want to, and then Arn just pushes the cage in his face. Which I thought was fun.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
He's about to climb into the cage, and then Brandy catches him with a steel chair. It looks like he's about to hit Brandy, and then Arn hits him back.
I wish he did. I wish she did. She's the biggest. She's the biggest. Sorry, she's the biggest heel in the company. It's like people don't know. But everyone else is like, oh no, she's the biggest heel in the company.
But no, Ruben. She loves her husband, therefore she's a good woman.
How can I forget?
She's not the spooky goth girl anymore. She loves her husband.
They killed that.
And she failed at figure skating, so therefore we need to give her sympathy.
And she has I don't know how many college degrees in it.
She has a degree.
Yeah.
What is it? Marketing or
marketing? Yeah. Yeah.
It's I have a liberal arts degree. Does that mean I can get a promotion in the company? Maybe I should call them up. I have a criminal justice degree. Can I book the matches?
Oh, you can probably be head booker there. Oof.
Yes, there we go.
Yeah.
So it's
big bucks.
Make it the big bucks, man. And we'd be Hollywood Drew. Be Hollywood and everybody.
Oh yeah.
I'll try to get you a job, man.
Okay. Well, I appreciate it, and you can get close to the Jackson's mutton chops. You can get you'll be so close. They're so close because that's a lot of these fans be next to the mutton chops. They actually touched it. They actually touched it. I've never washed this hand again. Oh my god! And then 3 months later, they have their hand in a glove, and they haven't washed it. I will never touch this. I will never wash this hand. It graze Nick Jackson's mutton chops. I'm like, weird. Okay.
Kenny Omega just wiped his sweat off of me. I can never shower again. I can never cut my hair again. Oh man.
The still okay. All right. Just we're professionals here. The steel cage match. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed MJF that little segment where Arn, hit him with the steel door. That was funny. It's do it, hit him. I know you want to. That's Dusty. Picture him. I was like, oh my god, this guy is gold, man. He has Like, he is a star. He gets it. This guy gets it.
And he's young. And he's he's freaking young.
Yeah, he has the look and talk. His wrestling ability is pretty. But most importantly, he gets the character. Pat, he's not on Twitter trying to be friends and he wants you to hate him, and he's doing his job. But I wish more wrestlers will be about that, because if it means that I get to make hates me or make less money, but I want to make more money, and I want people to hate my guts. I want people to throw just as long as the battery and a sock, cups and cans and beer. Like, I'm good, but nothing heavier. I'd rather, if that means me be a heel, not a college heel, but to the point people hate me. Like, I want that, because that means I'm doing my job. People's skin instead of cool. Like, no, fuck that shit. I want to make money, and that means.
Do you think Triple H sees him and just goes, "Oh"?
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
I say, do you think Triple H sees him and just goes, "Oh"?
Yeah.
Like, I will offer you a freaking garbage truck full of money. Just I will keep you the fuck away from Vince. You will work in NXT. You will work with me only.
He will take that. He'll take that offer like lickety split. Like, if we had a character like a heel, like, this cool edgelord stuff, like an actual heel, he, like, especially like MJF, he will make money. He will be a star there. It'll be like, backs at the beach. So it'll be at, in NWO form. Like, it will be like that, but every week. Like that every week. Like, I will pay money to see that.
Oh, man. Like, he could be a star in the WWE. Like, he is somebody. I'm pretty sure if Vince saw him, Vince would love him. Because at the end of the day, Vince still has some good ideas in the tank. But I'm sure if Vince saw a heel like that, he would just go, "I want this guy. I want this guy in my company and only." I don't know. Triple H just, they've been wanting guys like MJF. They've been wanting Kenny Omega for the longest time, which I think they're kind of done with him. Which, seeing how he's doing AEW, which, and they really, really, really want Okada. Which, I mean, you see what they did with Nakamura. So I don't know how that's gonna work. But
that's like, oh my god, like Nakamura is like, I remember watching his debut match against Sami Zayn at Takeover, and I'm like, actually, I'm gonna watch that match again. But I was like, damn, like, what happened?
That's so sad when you think of it. It's like, you remember when Nakamura debuted on NXT? It's like that's almost going to be 4 years ago, and now he was recently the Intercontinental Champion, and I actually forgot about that. It's just sad how much of an afterthought he's become.
It's pretty bad. Like, it's unfortunate. Like, they just dropped the ball. But again, it's not all, like, you never know. It's probably not all Nakamura's fault. It's probably not all WWE's fault. But it's just both parties had some sort of miscommunication, and that's why you have what we got now with Nakamura just I guess he's content just making money and surfing. You know, I guess like not everyone wants to be, you know, to have that pressure being on top. We never know, but it just sucked how he came in there and just was able to be himself for the most part. Now it's just like, oh, he comes out with a cape. He comes out with a cape, looks like a Power Ranger, like no. And it sucks because I became a fan of his. Like I went back and watched some of his New Japan matches, like his one of AJ Styles, even with wow, like now, like you look at Nakamura now, and it's like, damn, like what happened? But it's like you get into the machine, and you know the machine is too big that you get overlooked. And you know sometimes people just want to just collect the paycheck, which I push with. If you just want to get by and make a lot of money and you can do what you want, I'm all for it.
Yeah, that's unfortunately how the machine works. So yeah, that's pretty much all the wrestling talk we have on the docket tonight. Did you read about what Ben Affleck said about Batman?
No.
Well, I actually have the article on my phone right now. I usually have articles up, talk about during the show. This is on the Hollywood Reporter, where I'm not going to read the whole damn thing, where he was talking about his struggles with alcoholism. Ben Affleck pretty much had to check himself into rehab twice in like the past couple years, and talking about his split from his ex-wife Jennifer Garner, and all this was happening while he's promoting Justice League.
Oh man.
And he had said, I showed somebody the Batman script. They said, I think the script is good. I also think you'll drink yourself to death if you go through what you just went through again.
Damn.
So, in other words, what he's saying was he decided to bow out of the role because he thought it would trigger his alcoholism again. It would make him fall off the wagon, which, good for him. Like, at the end of the day, your health is always going to come first. You wouldn't want this guy to go through hell just to satisfy us. I mean, because at the end of the day, these entertainers, these actors, these singers, even wrestlers, they all go through hell trying to entertain us, and we're up here going, yeah, Batman, he's awesome, but we don't really know what they're actually going through behind the scenes. So
exactly.
If not being Batman means he's going to stay sober and live a clean life, and his mental health is going to be a lot better, then I don't ever want to see him as Batman again. If it means he's going to be going through hell behind the scenes, I was always one of the Ben Affleck supporters when he was Batman. I personally thought he was one of the better on-screen Batmans I've seen in a while.
I agree. Yeah, I agree. He was pretty good.
Yeah, he had the look down. He had the personality down, because, Ben Affleck is good at playing a dick because we all assume he's a dick. Yeah. And Bruce Wayne's kind of a dick. Let's just be real. I love Batman, but Batman's kind of a dick. And, he was able to freaking be ripped to shreds to play that role. Like, holy shit. I never thought he got his just due because anytime he showed up as Batman, it was always in a team-up movie. Like, you had Dawn of Justice, which was sort of the Man of Steel sequel, but it seemed more like a Batman movie, but it was still a team-up movie. And he showed up for that one scene in Suicide Squad, which was probably the best part of the movie. And that's saying a lot. Yeah. And then he was in Justice League, which, a lot of people have their opinions on Justice League. I thought it was okay. I didn't think it was terrible. Because let's just be real. We've seen a lot worse movies in Justice League. A lot worse superhero movies in Justice League.
Oh, yeah. That's for sure.
Yeah, the movie wasn't terrible. It was good. It wasn't great, but it was good. And supposedly, the rumor was that the Batman film that he was, going to star, directing, he also wrote the script for, was going to be Arkham Asylum. It was going to be a take on Arkham Asylum, which that made me cry, and it made me aroused at the same time. So, but hey, I'm glad he's doing a lot better. I'm glad he's sober. And like I said, if him not being Batman means he's not going to drink again and ruin his life again, good for him. I don't ever want to see him as Batman again.
Yeah. Like, again, mental health. You got to take care of you before you go out and fulfill a role, acting, what have you, because, like, people don't know the type of demons that one faces, especially with alcohol, any sort of depression. And it's like, oh, no, like, just small, like, oh, these actors, they're doing well. Again, they're just people like us. The only thing is that they're famous, and their net worth is, times and times and times over than the average person. So we just assume because of how wealthy they are and how famous, they can never feel pain. They can never feel sadness, depression. They can never, basically because of their status, that they can never be all human beings, when there's some of the most flawed people. As they say, more money, more problems. To quote, Biggie Smalls. And a lot of the problems that they have is it's magnified because what they do for a living. So when people assume, I want to have more money, and hey, that's. I wish I have money. I wish all my friends and family. But at the end of the day, there's going to be a lot of issues. You're in the, in that space where you're, an actor. It's not all sunshine and rainbow. Like, you're gonna be dealing with stuff a lot. You got to deal with it alone because of, the stigma and whatnot. And it's like, I wish people had better clarity when it comes to mental illness, especially with these actors, because they just have that assumption. Oh, they're we put them on high on a pedestal. They're just like us. They hurt, they bleed, they feel pain, they go through shit. Just like us. The only difference is they make in their profession.
Yeah. Yes. I mean, yeah. I mean, again, just good for Ben. He wants to do less of these, big time studio films, and I mean, yeah, these films entertain us, but
right.
It takes a lot of toll on the actors and the directors and the crew that's in it. So, did you happen to see that video where they showed the the test footage for Rob Pattinson in the Batman suit?
I saw it. A lot of people, they were giving it a lot of, positive praise. I'm like, yeah, like it looks promising, test footage, but it looks pretty promising. I'm intrigued now. Before I was like, oh yeah, but I'm intrigued.
I'm intrigued more and more by this movie. Because anyone that knows me knows I fucks with Batman. Like, Batman, as far as like superheroes, anti-heroes, whatever you want to go, DC, Marvel, Batman will always be my number one favorite. The first movie I remember actually watching was Batman Returns with Michael Keaton, Michelle Pfeiffer, Danny DeVito. That was literally the first movie I remember watching. As a child that that can remember memories, that is one of the first movies I remember watching. And ever since then, Batman's always been my favorite. You know, I read the comics. I watched the animated TV series from the 90s. I still watch it. It still holds up. And I'm very intrigued to see what Pattinson can do. He's obviously not going to be like a Affleck, whereas like he's a big motherfucker. You know, he's
a brooding dog.
Yes, he's gonna have something different, which I'm a fan of. Different. Not every Batman needs to be the same. What I think could happen is the rumor is the movie might be based on the Long Halloween, the Long Halloween graphic novel.
Yeah,
that or Year One, which I love both. So I'm interested to see what he can do. I'm interested to see what everyone else can do in the movie. Again, if it has DC or Marvel on the tagline, I'm going to see it. They're always going to get my money regardless. Let's close out the show. Speaking of DC, I saw that you weren't really a big fan of Birds of Prey.
No. Like my main reason comes to is instead of making a good movie, they want to just put in their
social messages.
Their social messaging. That just they're trying to get brands, and I'm for having a good movie. Having and subtle, you tell people, and obviously we're a guy, and guys make a majority of the viewership when it comes to and comic book, anything. It's but you essentially tell your potential viewer customers that don't watch this movie. It's like, what? And the movie, it seemed all over the place. Like, I felt like if it wasn't a what's her name, that the movie could have been a little bit, because the movie, like, to me, and then they changed the name Birds of Prey, The Emancipation, Harley Quinn to Harley Quinn Birds of Prey. It's like the damage has already been done. Before the movie came out, it was just a lot of bashing of the fans. These are the people who are going to watch your movie. These people to watch your money, you sell tickets, and that didn't go well. And it was just a lot of just splattered. And of course, she's in the subtitle. But what about all these other characters that, like, Canary, God, I cannot remember, but there was a lot of, mind you, in the DC, in the Arrowverse, they were represented a little better. And mind you, Arrow was a TV show. It was on the silver screen, so you had pieces. These characters were represented pretty well, but in the movie, in the big screen, they weren't represented, and it's like a really missed opportunity for a lot of these characters. And it was just too much. There's too much Harley Quinn, and then the back. Sonic came out last weekend. I still didn't get to see it and I was hearing all this stuff, all Sonic that is homophobic, and I was like, what? And I was seeing all these tweets, and all these tweets were just bots. They were just made just for people to, just for them just to attack the film. I'm like, come on, like, and it's not, and I pray, but it was the fans. And I say this just like with AEW, just like with wrestling in general, the fans are some of the worst aspects when it comes to anything. It's pretty bad. It's like a video game character, and you're going all these lengths to make sure people don't watch this movie, and then make people, and especially, I'm gonna bring this point home, the studio and Paramount, to all the outcry and abomination from hell. And it's okay, we messed up, we're going to go back to the drawing board. Hear you, and they did. I just wish that more of these studios did the same thing. Like, not, like, to listen to feedback, listen to constructive criticism, go back, do revisions, stay true to the source material, and make a good movie, you know, for the most part. You don't get that nowadays. So when Paramount actually listened, I was like, wait, they actually listened? They didn't call us pieces of shit? They didn't, you know, curse us to hell? They listened. Crap, that's a change. It's a breath of fresh air. And you didn't get that with Birds of Prey, unfortunately. Like, this movie had a lot of intrigue, and it could have been a better, if you put aside all the just all that stuff aside. If they just made a good movie, they listened to the fans. If they were more accepting to their fans, I think the movie could have been. They actually just took their time and listened. You know, the actress that played Harley Quinn wasn't. You know, it seemed like a vanity project, and it failed. And it's a shame because, like, people grew up watching Harley Quinn in the 90s, and for her to get her solo film, it wasn't well received. It's an issue, and it's something that the studio has to. This thing going, we got to go back. You know, listen to the fans, go to the tone back on which they're not, but wishful thinking, right? Just listen to the people that are going to.
Yeah, and originally, because Julian Cannon pointed this out with Sonic, it was the director's idea to make Sonic look like that.
Yeah.
To make him look like the kid from Jumanji who rolled the dice when it wasn't his turn. And after the extremely negative blowback, Paramount was like, no, we gotta fucking fix this. So they did. And the company that, like, fixed it actually went out of business. And that's that's pretty crazy. I have yet to see Sonic. I still want to see it. It's being hailed as the most positively, I guess, what's the word? The most positive reviewed video game movie.
Yeah.
Of all time, and this is right after Detective Pikachu.
Yes.
Of all the video game movies, it's made the most money. And I saw somebody put a tweet up, which was interesting. They put, Sonic didn't get woke, so it didn't stay broke.
Yep.
And it's how can you make Sonic woke, but no.
There's a way.
Oh, they'll find ways. It's like, Sonic needs to be a person of color. It's like, but he's blue. He's already blue. But he needs to be a better color. Or some bullshit. Oh, man. They'll find a way. But I still want to see it. I thought Detective Pikachu I loved it. I mean, the 9-year-old in me was watching all these Pokemon. I'm just like, ah! So there's hope for a Red versus Blue movie, or Red versus Blue series, or whatever you want to call it.
I think there's hope. They just have to stay true to the source.
Oh man.
Listen to the source. They gotta listen to the fans and stay true to the material out there they're following. Because a lot of these movies, they fell because they just using the characters, just the bare bones characters, and maybe kind of sort of use set pieces and plot them from set, intellectual property, but just completely turn it 360 degrees just because. And then the movie fell. You're like, oh, what happened? Like, cough, cough, Terminator Dark Fate.
I didn't see that, but Andrew Carlick from False Radio pretty much told me the whole plot. So
I seen it as a standalone action movie, good movie, but as a Terminator film, it's garbage. Like, just like this is, I don't know if you played Resident Evil.
I mean, I've watched the walkthroughs, but
Okay. Essentially, is like it's very polarizing because like the game, and there's people who hate it. The people, I'm in the camp that hate it because it's not a traditional game going, with the general survival. Just not jump scares, because a lot of games big jump scare, but it doesn't follow the Resident Evil 6 didn't follow the traditional survival tropes from the past. It was very action heavy. It had so many characters, unplayable characters, that it was basically an action game, and that's why people didn't like 6 because action. So the same vein with Terminator Fate, they're good movies and games, respectively, but as a Terminator film, they're horrible because they steered away from they got people to enjoy those franchises because it was just an action video game. An action wasn't like, it was just bare bones. You had characters from Terminator, had characters from Evil, past, present, but it wasn't a survival horror, and it wasn't real Terminator.
Yeah. So with that being said, the Resident Evil games I tried to get into, for one thing, I have a hard time playing horror games because I get scared really easily, and jump scares, it's in the name, they come at you. I mean, recently I've been playing Last of Us, and it's not really that bad. It's not really too scary. It's just the situations where you have to make sure you don't get attacked by zombies. I think Resident Evil, there's a lot more zombies in that than there is in Last of Us.
Yeah.
But, I've always had a hard time playing those games. Also because I'm not too what's the word? Too keen when it comes to, like, handling, like, ammo.
Okay.
I'm used to games where you can just, like, walk over ammo and just pick it up. Instead, this is just like, okay, take this ammo and put it in this part of your bag, and then take it out of your bag and put it in this part of your bag, and then combine it with your ammo. And then if you need health, take this blah blah. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I get it. I totally.
Yeah, I've watched the walkthroughs. The walkthroughs are always fun to watch.
Like so many of them on YouTube. You can just down.
I think I've already watched all of them, and that's like. Going from the original game all the way to like the remastered 2, which did they do a remaster? Oh yeah, they already did a remaster 1. Never mind.
Yeah, and Resident Evil 2 remake.
Yeah, the Resident Evil 2 remake was pretty dope actually. And then they're doing a 3, which is coming out I think in like May or June.
April.
Oh, okay.
April 3rd, or but it's kind of. But yeah, I totally like it's not, but I wish we had full playthrough through back in the day, but at least now like we have that. And there's certain games I'll still play, get it down and play it, but for the most part we can just full throughs and gameplays of other games that you would want to see, but you wouldn't buy. If that makes sense. Like you just want to watch.
No, that makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, so yeah, plug your stuff, man.
Oh, it's about that time. Okay, guys, you guys can find me on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, same deal, RubenPrimeTV. My podcast took a little hiatus to me being sick with the flu. Not that other virus, but flu. I gotta like and I know they're also like if I had the other virus, I wouldn't be here standing. Be quarantined again. But I will be back on podcasts. Just a couple of weeks. But I'm on all major podcast hosting platforms. Apple Podcast, all those places you can find me. Just type in Prime TV. Also, I have a website, primetv.com. Short and sweet, and everything is on there. Links to my podcast platforms, links to episodes, so everything's on there. You don't have to search all over. Have one-stop shop, primetv.com.
All right. Hey, would you mind switching over to Skype for a bit? Stick around for a bit. There's something else I wanted to ask you about.
Sure.
Kind of running low on time with Spreaker, but yeah. Shout out to Ruben Prime. Obviously, like you just said, he has his own website. Go to his Twitter, Instagram. You can find him on Spotify, pretty much anywhere podcasts are put out. Wrestling Soup, which they're doing a show now. They just recently announced they're going to do, an earlier start time to knock me off of Thursdays. Those bastards. I'll get them. Those Wrestling Soup people. I love them. DTKC, Don, Tony, Kevin Castle, every Mondays after Raw. Make sure to go to their Patreon as well as Wrestling Soup. Shout out to our mutual friend Trez, who's who's with Kevin Castle on the K&T Chronicles, I believe, or K&T show. I'm not sure what they decided on.
Yeah, K&T Chronicles, I believe.
Okay.
I gotta listen to the episode.
Yeah, I believe they're next week.
Okay. They had their first episode. There's so much to catch up on.
Yeah, you're telling me.
Yeah, like I'm a patron to both Soup and DTKC, so there's a lot of content. Like I got so many shows and podcasts to get through. So it's great. I'm a patron of both.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Yeah, guys, subscribe to their patrons. Just $5. For $5, you get all types of good shit. Good shit. Like for Wrestling Soup, you get stuff like Global Balding with our friend John Draper, Side Salad with Mish and John Draper. Joey Numbers just did a Frank and Gus episode by himself. Joey's always fun to listen to.
Yes.
And then for Don, Tony, and Kevin Castle's Patreon, Don Tony has like 5,000 shows. He has, I don't know if he does Breakfast with Blasey anymore. He does Blah Blah Blah, Wednesday Night Dynamite, which he reviews NXT and AEW. He does Breakfast Soup with Mish, And like I said about Kevin Castle, he has the Castle Chronicles, which is his solo show, and then the K&T Chronicles with Trez. B-Show Brian, another good friend of the show, make sure to look out for his show. He has 2 shows, actually. I think he has a horror show, and then he has the main show, which is B-Show Brian, or the B-Show. You got Bops and Bangers, which if you're a music fan, it's my good friend Peter. He reviews music, or just what's going on in the world of music in general. The Architect Podcast with my friend Derek and his friend Irving. I'm not sure if they do episodes anymore, but check their podcasts out anyway. Wrestling Court with Julian Cannon and Rob. I don't think they did an episode last night. And yeah, they're genuinely every Wednesday. And I'm trying to think of who else. The Trademark Show with Tyler. I feel bad because I'm very behind on it. I'm like Ruben just said. I'm behind on so much shit right now. So basically, shout out to anyone who supports the show, who downloads it, who plays it, who likes it, who retweets it. Thank you. And I'll be back next week as usual, same time. And really, that's about it. I might have something special for you guys tomorrow. Besides the main show that I'm doing right now, which I'll edit and upload, I might have something a little special for you guys tomorrow.
Ooh, spicy.
Very spicy. But thank you guys. I will see you next week, and take care, and peace out.
Peace out, guys.